Hello there, my name is Lamin Jai and this is News Review. Coming up today, call her the new kid on the block. Mary Sok, businesswoman, tells the Fatu Network of her intentions of becoming the Gambia's next president. Also, Gambia Chamber of Commerce hands over made in Gambia salts to supermarkets in the country. Before all of this, a review of the papers. I have the Standard, I think I also have, is it the Point or Foroya? It's Foroya, yes. I have Foroya too. We will look at what the papers are saying. Then Gambia's reform programs hijacked by Jame enablers. That's the lead story on the Standard there. New SG's appointment is constitutional. UDP NBR fires back at NPP Bureau Chief. So let's look at the stories in detail. According to Sheriff Kijera, chairman of the Gambia Center for Victims of Human Rights Violations, even after 3 years since the end of the Jammeh dictatorship, the Gambia's reform programs continue to be hijacked by the former president's enablers who continue holding key public institutions. I think the government should do more to address such issues. Institutional reforms haven't been quite meteoric as it is supposed to be because our country is being hijacked by these people who have a lot of influence in the government, Mr. Kijera told the Standard. UDP-NBR fires back at NPP Bureau Chief. The United Democratic Party in the North Bank region has challenged the National People's Party to declare its source of funding. In a recent interview with a local radio station, the NPP Administrative Secretary Mambanyang Njai denied accusations that the president is using his influence to fund his party through government coffers. Reacting to the NPP's Administrative Secretary's assassins, the UDP NBR committee spokesperson Karamo Njai countered Mambanyang should tell Gambians where the NPP is getting the monies they are using to buy all the vehicles that they are sharing among themselves. A new SG's appointment is constitutional. The Standard has reliably learned that the appointment of the new Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Nuha Toure, is in fact constitutional. Nuha, a former cabinet secretary, was appointed by President Adama Barrow on Tuesday, replacing Mohamed B.S. Jallow as SG. However, Toure's appointment was met with huge criticism across the country, with some claiming he was illegally hired. One such prominent critical voice was Mai Ahmad Fati, leader of GMC and one-time advisor of President Adam Barrow, who claimed Toure was not holding an office in the public service, which disqualifies him to be appointed SG. However, according to new information the Standard is privy to, Nuha Toure has actually been in the civil service in the past 3 years, or for the past 3 years there. So I think, yeah. So also according to the Standard, the Attorney General's chambers yesterday filed 8-count charges against Mansa Sumare, former chief driver of President Adama Barrow, Ibrahim J. Sane, Sekou Sane, protocol officers, one Usman Toure at large, ranging from forgery of official documents, uttering false documents, making false documents without authority, procuring execution of documents by false pretense, to 3 separate counts of conspiracy to commit felony. When the matter was mentioned yesterday before Justice Brahma Bajete at the High Court in Banjul, senior state counsels Patrick Gomez and MB Shaw of the Attorney General's chambers announced their appearance for this the state there, but the accused persons were absent, and their absence prompted the state council to seek for an adjournment in order to liaise with the Serious Crime Unit of the Gambia Police Force headquarters to notify the accused persons or the sureties for the commencement of their trial. The presiding judge Bajete granted the application and urged that the state prosecutors to liaise with the Serious Crime Unit to procure the accused persons in the next adjourned date on June 2nd, 2020. Let's see now then what Foroya is reporting on. Brufut Land Recovery Committee demand for their land. VP Toure updates press on government's food aid distribution. NHCR or NHRC and CCE signed MOU to raise awareness on fundamental human rights. Usainu Dabo, Africa Day message. Let's see the stories in detail. The residents of the Brufut there, I think they've made an error there. Brufut have been pursuing communal land which the Janet Commission recommended to be returned to them. But they say this land, which they say was taken from them by former President Jammeh, has in fact been sold and are not pleased with the government's attitude on the matter. The Village Development Committee, VDC of Brufut, set up a subcommittee on the 10th February 2019 to recover and reclaim all lands belonging to the community that were taken from them by ex-President Yahya Jammeh. I think NHRC and CCE signed MOU to raise awareness on fundamental human rights. The National Human Rights Commission, together with the National Council for Civic Education, yesterday, 27th May 2020, signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU for both institutions to coordinate and raise the awareness of the Gambian public on their fundamental rights. That's it for the papers. We will take a short break and we will return. Thank you. So the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry has handed over Made in Gambia shelves donated by Comafric through the Gambia India Business Council to various supermarkets in the country there. The idea is to support local industries. Mudi Wangam reports.
The Gambian Indian Business Council, supported by the Indian company Comafric, on Thursday morning donated 10 shelves to 10 different supermarkets and mini-markets in the country. The donation of the shelves is geared towards not only displaying and promoting made in the Gambia products, but also to help empower Gambian entrepreneurs and help them sell their locally manufactured products to their full capacities.
There are a lot of Gambian entrepreneurs who are producing excellent products, but they lack access to markets to sell their products. By that I mean they found it a bit challenging to approach supermarkets to take their products and market. That said, the committee deliberated on this, and there was a decision. There was a unanimous decision that the supermarkets in the Gambia, I mean, starting with the Indian supermarkets, I think they form the majority. Then you have the Lebanese, should take it upon themselves to play their part towards the promotion of made in the Gambia products.
I think every country's development starts at grassroots, and by local production is when we become self-reliant and self-sufficient. That is when a country can really move forward in development. I'm really proud of the Gambia India Business Council and the relationship our business community has with the Gambia. This is an appeal to everybody here, to all the supermarkets, to support this cause, try to support the sale of local products. Yes, we will continue to put pressure on government through the chamber to give concessions to all local manufacturers. That is what can really boost the production.
The donation of the shelves aims at creating market access for small businesses and enterprises while empowering made in the Gambia entrepreneurship.
Now, market access doesn't always have to be international or from to another foreign country. It can really start locally by active promotion and support to local entrepreneurs and businesses that can do more and grow more and improve their quality and improve their ways of doing business. And that is what GCCI has been really fighting for and supporting throughout this venture.
Gambians must be seen to be supporting local businesses because these are the ones that really need the bread and butter locally, but also that are thriving because they want to migrate from sustenance to actually livelihoods and more of, hopefully, employment and income generation.
With the support of Comafric, the Gambia Indian Business Council hopes to have a gesture of this kind as their first of several to come. Mudi Wangam, reporting for the Fatu Network's News Review.
Thank you. So earlier today, I had an interview with Madam Mary Sock. Mary Sock is a business woman who has declared or announced that she wants to replace President Adama Barrow next year. She wants to run for president. But who is Mary Sock? Well, I sat with her today. She will be announcing her intention to run for president in the next presidential elections next year. So we will leave you with that interview now. We will be back on Monday. Thank you.
TAF Africa Global is proud to launch the Moria Gardens, conveniently located in Brufut, 5 minutes off the Brufut Highway. Moria Gardens is set to comprise of 20 fenced and gated service plots with sizes ranging from 264 to 420 meters square. Unique features include water and electricity infrastructure, solar street lights, all-weather roads and scenic gardens. We offer a 10-year mortgage plan with a 25% equity down payment in partnership with GT Bank, Trust Bank and EcoBank. For more information, please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333 or visit our offices at Madiba Mall at TAF Brufut Gardens, opposite 5-Star Hotel.
Thank you. My guest today is Madam Mary Sock. Madam Mary Sock will be staking her claim for the job of president in the 2021 presidential elections. But who is Madam Sock? Well, she's here with me and she will be talking to me about her plans ahead of the elections in 2021. We understand an announcement is only a matter of time. Madam Sock, thank you for accepting to speak to the FAT Network.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that you guys came earlier to talk to me. And like I said before, you guys are welcome in my house. So
thank you. So tell us, who is Mary Sock?
Mary Sock is a Gambian-born woman. I've been in Gambia, educated in the Gambia, traveled extensively, and decided to come back home to give back. And since I came back in 2013, I've been going back and forth, of course, but also giving back to the community and also to people that I feel I'm connected with. And of course, because of that, my heart is drawn back home. So I'm in this, how do you call it, this pool of should I stay or should I leave? But you know, when you do start doing that, should I stay or do I leave, you tend to stay more because you have a lot of people looking up to you and stuff like that. So we engage in a lot of things in the Gambia and thus cementing the coming back home.
So now you returned, you said you traveled extensively, returned in 2013, giving back. Tell us, what do you do?
Well, well, it goes back a long time. At the age of 20, let's say, I started traveling earlier, actually, during my teen years, doing colonial de vacances through my dad's initiative. Then that created my ambition of travel. I've lived in Spain, probably one of the shareholders also of a big company that was here back in the day, which was Luis Diaz de Lusada, who built the highway and stuff like that. It was not a big share, but at least a part shareholder of that. Then moved to Spain in 1993, was going back and forth, but in Spain acquired 3 businesses. One of them was actually inaugurated whilst my partner was there, was Spanish, Manolo, by the former president, which is Sadao de Jawara. And I got actually to meet with him in 1995 with the First Lady, Lady Chiller back then. From Spain, I lived there for about 10 years. And then after acquiring 3 businesses there and empowered a lot of young Spanish workers, and it was sad that I had to leave because, but my ambition was more to get in the US. Prior to living in the US, I had a business there, which was like a braiding shop. So I traveled a lot to the US to make sure that was going on. And then later moved to the US. It has not been easy moving to the US because here I was a Gambian woman, living in Spain, having all these businesses, and people accepted me for who I was, regardless of race and color. And I traveled to the U.S. Frequently and thinking, wow, this is a nice place because it's multicultural. But unfortunately, once I lived in the U.S., it was a whole different ballgame. I came to realize that as a black woman, I had to always prove myself, and then I decided, okay, maybe I should work in the system, to get, recognized. So I remembered one of my first jobs was a telemarketing. And it was funny because they gave me the hardest books to sell. And these books I had to sell to, like on phone, to doctors. And, but I cracked it. Within 1 month, I was selling books that no one was selling for the past 3 years. And people were like, how did you do it? I said, well, I had a mirror in front of me, and I smiled. But because when you do smile, it echoes through the phone. It's funny, but it's true. When you smile, it echoes through the phone. When I'm upset and I talk to you on the phone, you'll hear it. So when I'm smiling and I'm happy, it echoes through the phone. So we end up selling a lot of books, and then I got promoted. But my ambition was greater than that. So I moved on to still running my hair shop in Baltimore on Calvert Street. It was a black hair salon. And there I got to meet with the former wife in The Prince of Bel-Air, the movie The Prince of Bel-Air, Janet Hubbard. She was a very good friend of mine, and through her, she gave me a platform to do the hair of all the actors and actresses in the Baltimore theater back then. This was in 2000. So I managed to, meet good people who realized my potential and worked with me. And then, of course, went through a bitter divorce and all that, and moved to Illinois. In Illinois as well, I had a hair shop and started doing hair as well, and then went to Kankakee College to further my studies. But of course, I had challenges in the sense that I'm a businesswoman and then had to study and go back and forth, so that was kind of difficult. And then having a divorce going on and stuff like that, it was not an easy task. But thank God I made it through, and came back to doing what I really loved to do most, which was open a modeling and talent agency in Chicago. Unfortunately for me, as a black woman, I was really, really challenged in the sense that the casting directors, one of the biggest casting directors in Chicago, known as David O'Connor, has about 200 castings a year in Chicago. And he called me up twice and said, I don't understand, that you have such a big office. My office was in the Prudential Building in Michigan Avenue, and my other office was in 150 North Michigan and also in Institute. And we don't understand, you have an accent, but we don't understand how you have this office. You need to let us know who you're affiliated with. And I'm like, what do you mean who I'm affiliated with? He said, well, obviously I want to work with you, but we need to know who you're affiliated. I said, do I have to be affiliated with anyone for you to work with me? Here is a black one. I'm a black woman. I'm an African. I'm not affiliated with anyone. I'm a small fry. I just came here to have this, open a talent agency so I can help the young people to realize their talent and also book them for jobs. So if you're getting 200 castings a year, and I've done everything I'm supposed to do to have this business, then you're supposed to work with me just like you're working with any other agency. So that time, we have a lot of people coming through the door. I was probably one of the youngest and most popular agencies in Chicago back then. So, but it was tough because we went from having 0 contracts. You have over 2,000 people in your data system, and you don't have contracts to book them. It's tough. And even when we had a casting, for example, one time with Fox Network, they selected 16 of my talents because I had a lot of Asians, Polish models and stuff like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kids, all talented. And they booked them for a show. Next thing, the show was contracted for about 3 months. Next thing, they cut it off and said, oh, we're sorry, we had to cut the contract off. Only because some other big agencies called up and were upset that who is this agency? Who is this company? my ads were running all over Chicago. You know, I paid a lot of money to get my ads running all over Chicago. And here I am being oppressed because I'm a black woman that's not affiliated in the niche of Chicago. So it has been very, very tough, 7 years with the talent agency. There was actually one time when I remember a client came into the office and said, do you know that you're an F on Better Business Bureau? I said, you must be joking. I said, I think Better Business Bureau is one of the so-called scam in the world because you're paying just to get an A. I said, they want me to be on, to have their logo on my site if I pay a certain amount, and I refuse, but I know I'm a B+, and I'm good at B+. He said, no, you're an F. I said, no, I'm not an F, I'm a B+. He said, no, go online. So I went online, and there it was. I was an F. I was like, so I called Better Business Bureau and I said, why am I an F? And they said, well, ma'am, because we got a call that you have a hole in the wall. I said, where the heck in the building, in the Prudential building, is there a hole in the wall? Where the heck even the garage is not a hole in the wall in the Prudential building, nor 150 North Michigan, because that's the Smithsonian building. So I made such a stink. I wrote them a long letter saying, well, if it was Trump Towers, you wouldn't say it's a hole in the wall, you know, so I went all that. Next thing, they put it back to B+. So these are challenges.
Challenges
you know.
that you really...
Yes, then you have models that probably are working on the ground for other agencies. Then they start, putting, this company is a scam. We paid our money and we're not booked. My friend, if you pay your money and you take your pictures and you come and we say you're not fit to be a model, but you can do acting or you can be a, how do you call it, like an audience in a movie, you know, what is there a scam? You cannot call me a scam just because you are not fit or I feel you are not fit for the roles or you are not marketable. But you see, all these were challenges because I was black. All these were challenges because I was an African, because I have an accent. Because I cannot be in Chicago running all these ads, being so big, people coming talking about me, and you are not giving me a job because you don't know who I'm affiliated with.
So really they couldn't take that?
They couldn't take that. But we fought. Finally, we made it. I had good people. I had challenges, but I never backed down from my challenge. You know, I always, without challenge, I cannot move forward. I always challenge myself to the max. And one of the other challenges was coming to Gambia, only because a friend of mine, he's not even a friend, he's like a father, like a brother, Baba Jibi, I think you know Baba Jibi Jallo, may his soul rest in peace. He called me up one day and said, all the good guys are gone, you're all gone, why don't you come back home? I said, what do you mean come back home, what's there? He said, you guys need to come back. So I spoke to him like April of 2011, and in June I flew in. And I was so scared I didn't even know Gambia anymore. I stayed at the Coco Ocean and scared to leave. So I stayed there for 10 days and got to see Gambia for the first time, then went back and then came back in 2013 when my dad passed away. And I think that kind of brought me more home, you know, because I was here for the funeral. I looked around me, I see family, I see friends. You know, in America, you really are connected only with your brothers and sisters. You don't really connect with people, especially in the line of work I was doing. You know, you're more with strangers than with your own people. So that kind of brought me back to, you know, where I am today. But I'm not going to say that Gambia didn't have its challenges. It's funny because the most challenges I had has been in the Gambia. It has been the most challenged so far. But like I told you earlier, without challenge,
there is no success.
Thank you. So I think I need that in my life.
you
yes.
Most definitely. By the way, are you in any way related to the former Chief Justice?
Yeah, that's my dad. That's my uncle.
Oh, that's your uncle?
Yes, it's my uncle. Yeah, Uncle Ray, yeah.
Now let's talk about the issue. You are back, you've moved back to Gambia, and you want to be president. Why do you want to be president?
Well, since I came back, I've been working with a lot of youths. I do wrestling matches. I think it's because of me, wrestling matches are now being portrayed in television because there was no platform for wrestling. And I came to realize that we are talking about back way, and I talk to the youths, and I see that the majority of the youths that are going out, these are mostly the ones that are either they're not educated or they went to Islamic school, and there's no furtherance here in the Gambia. After you go to Islamic school, what next? There's no, university that can, further that education, or even college, or even high school to further that Islamic, you understand? I think there's only Nusrat, and then when you're done, there's no job facility for that. So I felt that there's a need to help these youth. So I created a platform, and the platform was this wrestling match, because these are the masses. And they came out in the numbers. I was challenged. Trust me, it has not been easy being a woman and having wrestling matches. So for the past 3 years, we did well and self-funded. Of course, I got a little help from Minister of Youth and Sports. They acknowledge that we are doing that. Culture as well will participate a little bit. But let's say 99% of the funding or whatever comes from myself and whatever we try to make from here, for our little money. And, we talk to these people, we talk to the youths, I talk to women, I travel to the provinces, and I see so many challenges, and I felt that in my capacity, I cannot help everyone. Even though I run behind agencies, I run behind all these people to try to support. But I don't know what the problem is. I don't know whether people see me and think, oh, she can do it herself. And you can't do anything yourself. And I've been helping other political parties to come up, but unfortunately I came to realize that their mindset and their agenda does not align with what I am all about. Because what I am all about, if I say I came home to give back, or I came home to empower, then that is what my goal is. I'm not here to make money off. Yes, I have a business. The business has to maintain itself. I have staff. These are all people that depend on me. These are people that I have to continue to support, regardless whether money comes in or not. But my goal is really to come and leave a legacy. So I've been doing a lot of that. Now I feel that the best way to be able to help everyone, especially the women and the youths, is really to get into politics. Then, like I said, going into politics with other people didn't help me as much, because my agenda is different from their agenda. I am not pointing fingers to any political party. I think everybody has a right. I feel that everybody should be in politics. I encourage the young people to be in politics. I encourage, people that, I'm not into politics. My friend, you are into politics when you step out of your gate. Because in front of you there's so much sand, nothing is, the road is not fixed, so that already is part of politics, because the road should be fixed. So I encourage them to be in politics in a positive way. And another thing as well, I came to realize, which is very sad, is that, the Gambian politics is so divided. You have different political parties, and it's all about me, I'm this or I'm that. And I keep telling people, we are only less than 2 million inhabitants. Why are we so separated by political party? Why are we so separated by, I'm a Mandingo? Why are we so separated, I'm a Jola? Why are we so separated, I'm a Wolof? Gambia was not like that. The Gambia I left, we were all one. The Gambia I left, we didn't care who you were. We were Gambians. And we need to start realizing that again in order for us to work. We need to start calling ourselves Gambians. When you go to the US and somebody has a problem, hanalan la sosela. No, mane, that's not right. We need to say Gambian la. We all get up and help that person. Because first and foremost, that person is a Gambian. You don't go to any border and say, I'm a Mandingo. You say, I'm a Gambian. You ask a Senegalese, Yolan la, say, je suis Senegalese. You tell him, me ban het. They will even start thinking, ban het. Oh man,
they don't even know.
They don't even know. They're trying to record. And for me, that is ownership. And until we get back to that, the Gambia will not go forward.
There are bound to be problems.
We will have problems. And so this is one of the reasons as well. And I think this political divide is hurting us. Religious divide is hurting us. Tribal divide is hurting us. It is not in an international scale or international level, but it's hurting our community. People will say, oh, ki akula. But define aku. define Aku. We don't have a tribe. I embrace everyone. I don't care who you are. Like I said, if God says I have to be in office, when I'm in office, I don't care if you wear green from your toe to your head. Work. I don't care if you wear yellow from your feet to your head. Work. We need to work. We need to get us out of what we are right now. We need to be one. And I think the youths are more intelligent, they're educated, they see what is going on internationally, they're online. They want the same. And they're the only ones that can do that change in this country because they're more level-headed. And this is one of the reasons I said, I will put in my ticket. I will be that woman to change that. We have lots of strong women in the Gambia.
How do you want to go about it? Because earlier you did say that you've supported political parties to really start, but your agenda and their agenda didn't align, and as a result, you backed out.
Right.
I'm saying, so how do you want to go about it? Do you intend to form a political party, or you just want to put in your ticket as just independent?
No, I feel there are too many political parties right now, and it's catastrophic. So I want to get out of that. This is why I said, no, I'm not going to form another political party to be part of. I'm going to stand independently. Standing independently doesn't mean I don't want to work with everyone. That is why I'm standing independent. Of course, it would be great if Gambians can come together, regardless of any political party that you're affiliated with, to endorse my candidacy. Because what I want to do is to bring everybody together as Gambians. When I call people, oh yes, Marie, I like you, you know, bloody, but you know, I am now part of this party. I said, I don't care. I don't care what party you're in. I want to work with you. Because I don't see you as a party.
But do you see them as forthcoming when you invite them to join you, to endorse you?
Well, it makes them thinking, because what I tell them is completely different from what they hear. Most people will invite you and say, come and join my party. I don't invite you to join my party. I invite you to stand with me. Let's work together. You can come to the office. Let's say, for example, God says, I'm going to be the president. I'm the president of the Gambia. Guess what? I don't care, like I told you before. Wear yellow from your shoes to your socks to your hat. Come to office. I will not see that color. All I will see is you as an individual, as a Gambian, wanting to make a change and working. Now, if you don't work, I'm sorry, you'll be fired. But you work.
How about someone who wears black? As
you can wear black. I don't care. Just work. You know, for me, it doesn't matter. I look at everyone as Gambian. You know, I look at somebody like Honorable Dabo as a brother. You understand? Because I know him from back in the day. You know, I don't know his color. I know him as a person. I know people, other people in other parties, Mama Kande, all these people, and I know them as people. I don't know them by color. You know, I came from the US where color, we were defined by color. And it's sad because I lived in Europe and they didn't define me by color. I had a business with white people. You understand? I employed Europeans, and they didn't define me by color. Only one woman defined me by color, but I got her locked up in jail in Spain for calling me a nigger, because you don't call me a nigger. When I'm contributing to the economy in Spain and employing Spanish people and making sure they have places to live and making sure that they have something to put on the table. Some of my workers, it's because of me that they got a house. Because in Spain, when you sign up for somebody that is working for you for a year or two, you sign up for them, the government can give them a loan to get an apartment. So I've done that for most of my workers. So I cannot come back home and I see we being defined with colors. That's absurd. We are Gambians.
What do you make of the current administration, the Barrow government?
Like I said, I'm not here to, how do you call it, talk anyone down. I just feel they could do a better job. I empathize with Adama Barrow himself because I feel that he's not being given the proper advice. I think he's not being pushed to the right direction. But I feel after 3 years, you know, or going 3 years or 3 years, when you see that things ain't working right, you need to have a shift. You understand? I mean, we brokered the peace deal between the 3 years and 5 years, and government sat with us. The first time 3 years went out, it was fantastic. There was no riot, no fighting, no nothing. And, you know, I understand he acknowledged that. But after all that, after people doing all that, we expected to see a big change. We expected to see more unity, you know, and more, you know, things possible, how do you call it, proper things going on. You talk about COVID-19. You look at COVID-19 funds alone. You know, people are not stupid. Everybody's concentrating on the 500 million. But it's more than 500 million. But they make sure people are just talking about 500 million. It's a deviation. There's more. There's other monies. There's $9 million. There's 10 million that the World Bank says, okay, what do you want to buy? We can supply. How can you allow the World Bank to dictate to you that they will buy the items and then you know, list things of what you need? Who are the suppliers? Are they affiliated with the suppliers?
And
these
you're
are all
going to top that money up.
Thank you. And you're going to top that money up, and you're going to pay that loan back or that debt, you know, but not asking who the supplier is. You see, we need to start really looking at things differently. Sometimes it doesn't take a rocket science. It doesn't take you having a PhD or master's. It's just common sense. I remember my grandmother used to say they need to bring common sense back in the schools. Sometimes it's mere common sense. We need to stop other people dictating how we run things. If somebody says, I'll give you money, but then instead of giving you the money, I'm going to give you supplies. List the supplies you need. I will say, fine, I'll list the supplies, but I can buy the supplies myself. I can send you to the distributors. You don't have to make me list the supplies and then use your own distributors. Who guarantees that the prices are right? You can put any price tag on it. You know, and a lot of other things that are happening that shouldn't happen.
Now you are trying to replace him come 2021. But you are a woman, and in a country where women really are still struggling to really get their place at the table. Well, how attainable is this? How confident are you?
This is one of the reasons I stand for all those women, because I want to show women, Gambian women, that we can do it. You'll be surprised when you travel abroad how Gambian women are doing most, you know, the most fantastic jobs. They're accelerating. And we cannot afford for all our women to be going out. We need to start embracing women. We need to stop this so-called looking at women as if we are supposed to be only in the house, only in the kitchen. Our voices should be low. Times are changing. Nowadays, you as a young man, you marry a woman, you are working, you earn a salary, the woman is sitting at home. At some point in time, you'll be choked. You understand? Because we are not in that generation anymore where the woman can stay at home and live off of the money you're making. So if you find your woman and you say to yourself, this woman is my partner, allow her to be her. Trust me, you will not suffer anymore. You will not suffer anymore. And this is what a lot of men are making a mistake. But I think the young generation are seeing that. They're seeing that what our fathers or forefathers were doing is not working anymore. And they see what women are capable of doing because we are more resilient. We are more resilient. You have a headache. You'll be laying in bed all day. My friend, I will have a headache. I'll have all kinds of pains. I'll still give birth. I'll still come back in the office and work. I'll still come home and cook. I'll still make sure you're happy at night. What else do you need? And you talk about women are below? No, we need to get out of that. Look at how many women in the Gambia, even in their lowest level, how good they try. Go to the market. Go to the market. The other day I saw a very, very old woman pushing this wheelbarrow with oranges. I felt like buying all the oranges on her wheelbarrow. And she was old. She didn't need to do that. And she's a woman. You go to the provinces, it's the women that are in the farm, not the men. So why should we always see ourselves down? I went to a very powerful meeting in Ethiopia. Gender is my agenda, GMAC, headed by Bineta Job from United Nations. And I have never seen so much powerful black African woman in my life that I've seen that it made me proud to have come from Gambia. It made me proud to stand where I am standing today. That's my may fit. Because I came to realize, yes, I am not wrong.
In whatever it is that you are
I am not wrong.
interested in doing.
I am right. Because I saw it. It was the room, it was the most powerful woman.
Only room that you've come across.
Thousands from all over Africa.
The other, woman that also toed the same, line as you was Dr. Aissatou Touré in 2016. She came out boldly to announce her candidacy.
Right.
She initially she wanted to go independent, but at some point she had to abandon that and join the coalition. What are you looking at? Are you also should it get to that? Will you also consider something like that?
Well, as of now, I am not looking for that in the sense that I'm looking actually for all the parties to endorse me.
Come behind you to endorse,
to endorse me.
So that's how you want to go.
Yeah, because you see, if not...
How confident are you that, really, parties say, for example, UDP, APRC will say, okay, I think we find the unifier in her. She can serve as the person, the individual that can really unite us. Let's throw our weight behind her. Do you see that happening?
Well, I cannot predict the future. I can only say for now that I didn't come out and say I'm standing on my own. I have the youths that push me to do that. They said, Auntie Mary, you help us a lot. We work with you a lot. Our mothers, they all know you. The day I was taking my letter to IEC, they made sure I went in. They made sure they came with me. Even I was sitting in the car. They said, "Nang duga sibir, Auntie Marie." I was trying to, they made sure I really went in and took the letter. Not that I cannot deviate and go somewhere. So they push me to do it, and I see why they're doing it because I connect with them, I talk to them, and I empathize with them in a lot of things that they do. And I think they need someone to help them get there.
So you already took your letter?
Yeah, I wrote my letter of intent. And I sent another letter of request for all the documentation. Unfortunately, they cannot give me the documents till, I think, end of the year because they have to give the independent candidacy forms, I think, 1 year prior to elections. So for now, I can only say that I am an aspiring presidential candidate and talk to all the people to support me and come on board as one. I'm here to reunite Gambia. If we talk about we want Gambia to be one, then I think this is the platform to do so. We put our political, affiliations aside. We put our religion aside. We put our tribe aside. We are one. My family, if I sit here and tell you today, my family, we are, if you say I'm an Aku, the Akus marry into the Mandingos, into the Jolas, into the Manjago, into the Fula, so who am I? I cannot look at my nieces and nephews and say, I'm not talking to, no. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm trying to learn Mandingo. I'm trying to learn Fula. I'm not very perfect, but when they speak, I understand because I went to Nyandija the other day and they're Fullers and they, and I'm trying to pick this up. I love going to the provinces. I love being there. I want roads in the provinces. I want development in the provinces. I want schools in the provinces. I've sit at night and I see a little girl taking a flashlight and doing her homework. It made my heart bleed that at this time, after 50-something years, 56 years, we are still, or 55 years going, we are still using flashlight to do homework in the provinces. We are still using pit toilets in the provinces. We're walking to school. This is an embarrassment as a Gambian. This is an embarrassment. I want to bring friends.
And you intend to change that?
I want to change that, and I will change that because, Gambia has money. If you can, out of the blue, take out $10 million, trust me, we have the money, we have the resources. If we plan well and we do things properly, we have enough money to sustain. We might need help outside, but it will be less than what we are taking right now. You cannot put the country, a country of less than 2 million people in debt like that. We need to start looking at what we have. We need to start recreating our agricultural sector. We need to recreate stuff. We need to be more creative than we are right now. I don't see anything happening. I see all the farmlands in the provinces. I went there, all dry. There's no rice. We should be able to grow rice three seasons a year. We should be able to grow rice 3 seasons a year because we have sweet water in the provinces. We can create piping system, you know, a better way of pumping water. That way it's wet all the time. In areas that we cannot believe rice can grow there, we can create those things, you know, instead of just sitting here waiting for handouts. You know, and like you said, this is one of the reasons because I didn't just sit here in the city area and just say, okay, you know, no, I went all the way out there to see for myself. If a school, even right here in Bijilo, if a school that I'm donating stuff for their supplies, and they said, can you help us with cash power? And I give them cash power, very little. And then they said, thank you, madam, this is so much. Now we can print our test papers. I have to ask myself, so my friend, what did you do then? That now you can print your test papers? It's almost the end of school year. So these kids cannot get their test papers? These kids, we're not using their computer labs. These kids don't have proper toilets, even water right here in Bijilo, where you have all the mansions. Then something is really, really wrong with our society.
That needs fixing.
It's really, really wrong.
What do you have to tell your fellow women who really may even want to do what you are doing now, but for some reason they cannot come out?
They need to all come out. If they cannot do it, then they need to support who is doing it. And together we have a voice, because the voice is one. The voice is one. It cannot be 10 women or 50, it's for everybody. If I stand as a woman, I'm representing the women of Gambia. I'm representing the women of Gambia. And I have children, and I have kids, and I have, you know, nieces, I have nephews. You know, I need all the women. I'm calling on all women. I'm challenging every woman in this country to stand up, because this is the time. I saw that in Ethiopia. I saw that at the UN forum. I saw that. It's the era of women, and we cannot kill it. If not, we fail. And right now, we need to get up because we need to help the men.
Have you started drawing up strategies, or even not only strategies, but structures?
We have our manifesto.
As a way of really tapping. Oh, you have a manifesto?
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, come on, I'm a perfectionist. I can't. I can't just be talk. I have my manifesto. Actually, when you came today, you saw us. We were working on the manifesto today, and the manifesto is our road plan of what we want to do and how we're going to do it. It's not about just talk. It's something that we did a lot of research. We've been doing this for over 3-4 months now. Research and looking at things and how to do. And we made it as simple as possible, where even the regular guy who's probably just completed grade 6 can read, so that they understand what we are doing. Because we want everyone, if we are working with the youths, then we have to simplify our things, everything attainable, and what we can do to fix it the first years prior to the second term.
So the game plan there, what are the most important things to you specifically?
Oh my God, our education and our medical system is, without education, you're killing the country. Our kids right now, if they're not educated, there's no future. So that has to be number one. We have to start sending children to school again. At the age of 2, you have to start going to baby school, what we call baby school, early learning, development, so that they can identify. We used to have that. Mrs. Ndao started that. My mother was a principal at Mrs. Ndao School, where they have early learning, children in those days. And from 2 years old, you now go, you'll be surprised. At 2 to 4, what the kids can learn. By 4, they can go now to the primary sector, or 5, and change the whole dynamics. We're doing exams. When I ask, they're telling me, oh, we are doing this WAEC. What is WAEC? It's West African Examination exams. But when you're done with WAEC, you go to any school in the US or Canada or England to further your studies, they don't even understand that. What are we doing? Why can't we start getting up, you know, like the rest of the world? Why aren't our schools with internet? Why aren't our schools with internet? Why can't our kids, you talk about government officials today sitting there, they can't operate their computers, they can't operate their laptops. Is it their fault? It's because it was never taught. The whole world is changing and we are just sitting here. And this is why the youth have to take this country forward, because they are aware. Any young person you give your phone, they can, they can crack it open. They know what to do with it. You send somebody, a youth, an email, they respond back. But you send somebody in government office email, it will take you 3 weeks before you get a response.
Because they don't know.
They don't know how to even operate it. They don't know how to use it. Then you have a system where I have people come here to look for a job. Where I got a diploma in IT. I said, really? Okay, no problem. I take my computer, which is an Apple computer, and I turn it, and I said, now you can, then they sit there and looking at it. I said, what's your problem? It's not this computer I was using. I said, my friend, if you have a diploma in IT, you should be able to open any computer that I put in front of you. And these are the so-called big names we are giving them, and then we wonder why international companies are coming to this country and are not employing our people. They employ them after 1 month, 2 months, they fire them, or they let them go because their capacity is not there. It's on paper, but when they put it to test, it's not there. We should have in high schools already. In high school, students should be going to school with laptops or iPads. This is their book. This should have every program in there. That way, my kids, by the time they came here, my daughter was, what, 12 years old when she came to Gambia. And 24/7, they're on their iPads, on their iPad, they read, they do everything. Most kids are behind on that. Now, the private schools have that. If the private schools can have that, Sibek has that. My daughter is at home right now, and she logs in and does her work. Then all schools should be able to have that. Because the young people are smarter now. When you have a baby at home, the first thing she starts playing with is your phone.
True.
The first thing she starts playing with is your phone. Sometimes she will even touch you. She's 4 years old, she's already playing music, and you're but by you putting her to school with a teacher that don't even understand proper English, you're setting her brain back. You're not challenging her brain cells. And we need to change that. The world is changing.
And that's what you intend to do.
Oh, definitely.
That's what
I've traveled all over the world, and I see everywhere. This is what we need. Gambia has to change. Gambia has to be on top with everybody else. And it's easy.
This thing of, politics in Africa, not just this is not just unique to Gambia. In Africa, is synonymous with money. You have to get a lot of money. You go to people. If you are on the campaign trail, for example, you meet people, and all they expect is money, and you have to give them money, because these are people really who are poor, who really want to put something in their stomach first before they can listen to you.
And you are very right. I have experiences like that. I have even somebody that works for me here, my security, and I said one day, I said, Malang, tell your boys that, I'm trying to run for president. Hey, auntie, I'm going to politics halis la fok nga jox ma dara ñu jënd ataya. I said, then do ataya. I said, so you want to be a watchman all your life? I said, because if I give you njeki ataya just to talk to the voice, that's it. That's all you're going to get. Tomorrow when I make it up there, you're just going to be the same guy sitting there looking for attire money. I said, you don't want something better than that attire? You have a wife, you have kids. You don't want a future for your son? I said, so you think I'm going to be around here to be giving you these handouts all the time? I said, you need to want more. And this is what I talk to the people. You have to sensitize the people. I understand other political parties talk, oh, you have to understand, you guys from the diaspora don't understand, Gambian politics is all about money. No, they will take the money because they're poor. They will eat the money. But guess what? Tomorrow, who they're going to vote for? And we're trying to tell them, get out of that norm of always thinking we have to give you money for you to vote. Because guess what? When we give you that money, you vote, we go up there, we forget about you. And then you wonder why. You're upset. No, you want long term? It's a hustle.
You got to hustle.
You got to get there, work hard. Maybe you might not eat it or you might not benefit from it, but your children and your grandchildren can benefit for it. they can benefit from all that because it's going to be long term. It's going to be the future of this country. When Gambia is stable, everything is stable, trust me, everyone will be okay. Our poverty probably we will not have, Gambia will be at a medium because you're talking about the provinces. You have rice, you have everything growing up there, your vegetables. Is that called poverty? Is that poverty? You have proper housing. We're trying to empower women with loans, money so that they can elevate themselves, develop the villages, have other cities in this country. We cannot have one city that is Banjul. We have other major places that we can turn into beautiful cities. Schools that you can build in the provinces. We don't have to have one university where everybody's going now. I understand the university people are standing to take lectures. It's a shame. Why can't we build 2, 3 universities? Why can't we build several colleges? How many regions do we have? Empower these regions. But when you go to the regions, you want to cry. They don't even have proper water. I'm scared to go to the bathroom. You know? I'm scared to go to the bathroom. I mean, it should be a shame for every Gambian to feel that. I go to America and I'm boasting about Gambia. I bring friends and they're like, I'm like, hey, it's part of life. Or we sleep in the province and the rats are running on the wall and I'm like, you know what, they're part of us, this nature. I try to, but they're right.
Play everything down. Do you have anything final to say? I understand you'll be announcing.
We can sit here all day.
We can sit here all day, but I'm afraid you'll have to stop at some point. Do you have any final words? Because we understand you will be announcing your candidate soon.
Yes. Well, what I'm just calling up to all Gambians, women of Gambia, the youths of the Gambia, to embrace this change. I want everybody to come on board. Let's change Gambia. I want Gambia to be the way it was as far as us being one. And I want Gambia to get out of where we are to go forward so that we can be part of all the other nations, even other African countries. They're already ahead. You're talking about countries like Rwanda. You look at all what happened there. Look at how fast it has developed. We can do it. Gambians are not lazy. It's just they don't have the opportunity. You understand? The young people are not lazy. They don't have the opportunity. I've worked with a lot of young people, and I see what they can do. Actually, I'm learning some of the things from them, and we need to come on board as one in order for that to happen. Let us stop all this political divide. Let us stop all this religious divide and tribal. This is all nonsense. This is just a way for somebody to capitalize on us and get what they want. Forget all that. It's all politics. Let us go as one. That is most important. If you say one Gambia, then you need to mean it.
Madam Mary Sock,
yes.
Thank you
for
speaking to
Thank you. I see you're teary-eyed. I hope you're not about to cry.
I'm fine. I just find it amazing that here is a woman who really wants to change Gambia.
Yeah.
Finally, because this is we've been paying for that.
Yeah.
This country has been paying for change 50 plus years. Still, people are complaining. People are saying nothing is being done. So you are here, a woman who really wants to change something.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And I'm not only calling on the women. I know I said I'm standing mostly for the women and the youths. But by saying that, I'm also saying that these women and youths, the women have husbands, the youths have parents. I want those fathers to stand by me.
And the political parties to
all of
stand
them.
By you.
They need to.
If we want to change,
let us come together as one. Let us work together. We can all work together.
You will remove Barrow because he
he can stand by me as well, and he can work.
Candidate.
We can all work. It's all about taking Gambia forward. Like I said, it's not about the person. Sometimes you meet a good person, but it's people around you that can change you and make you the monster that you're not. And of course, if everybody labeled you as a monster, one day the monstrosity in you will come out. It's just what it is, unfortunately.
Madam, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to Fatu Network, and I'm happy that you guys are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's another powerful woman too, and I applaud her on everything that she's doing. I applaud every woman that is out there and doing their thing, and I think it's time we all come on board and embrace each other and take it to the next level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Finally, thank you. Thank you. So that's it for this interview. Thank you. Until next time. Thank you.